Hello my friends, I am making this video to show you VFX. I have created a fire effect burn on this classic model, the robot Kyle, and we'll show to you what I have done and in general steps how it has been done, but this is not a tutorial, this is a fast overview of this job. And so let's go. First I have created to emit the spectacles. I have created a visual effect here, visual effects, and this visual effect will spawn some particles, and to complete this I have created a shader graph. We can create by clicking in project folder with right mouse button. We can go here and create, and going into shader we can show lots of types of shaders. That's incredible, lots of stuff to learn and be lost to do. And I have created a VFX shader graph that will affect our texture, the texture of the robot. We'll see that as soon possible. But now let's come back to the visual effects particles I have created. I'm going to maximize this so we can see it better, and here is it. I have created distortions that emits emitter that emits distortions planes, which distorts the photons that pass through it, and have created fireballs too, emitters that emits fireballs. Have created a point cache based in the model, so it will spawn these particles right over our model, our vertex of the model, our planes of the model. So this is very cool. This is not spawn these particles. This only spawn these particles in the surface of the model. Very nice. I've created some flames. So fireballs and flames are different types of fire to become more realistic. Created some rising smoke too. I call it rising smoke, but it can go in any direction you like it. And put some, this smoke is independent from the surface. It appears in the surface, but if you move the character, the smoke don't move together with his model. So this is a very cool feature. I have created too some sparks with trailing sparks emitting to make those sparks typical from bonfires. We see that in bonfires, and as we can see, lots of variables here that allow us to change it in real time. We can visualize that in real time. It's very cool to make it with these possibilities. So I can select here in hierarchy our visual effect created. In here we can see these variables. Look at that, we can change the spawn rate of the flames. I want a lot of flames. I can set the amount, a maximum amount and a maximum and a minimum amount of spawn rates. So that's very cool. I'm going to put everything in 0 so you can see every little effect alone. So this is the flames. These are the flames we talk to you now. And now it's spawning 32 flames, and we can turn it out, turn it off, and it going out until it vanish. So this is very cool. We can change it every time we want it, including inside the gameplay. So I'll put it at 0 again so you can see the other effects. Spawn fireball, and here it is, the fireball effects with lots of fireballs being spawning. So very cool feature. That's very interesting. And hit distortions, only the hit distortions. So you can see here, we can see here too, that hits distortions. This is very realistic feature without being too heavy to our GPU. So this is the maximum I have put to avoid overwhelming the CPU. And let's turn it off. Sorry, my English is not perfect. And let's put some smoke here too. Let's see the most smoke around it. So this is going up, generating a lot of smokes. Not too many, only 6, because the smoke takes a long time to vanish. So we must be very aware of the performance of our effects to not abuse the GPU. Now the spawn rate sparks. Let's bring it up, and that's the sparks. We can see the sparks flowing out. 64 sparks, 16 for sparks, I don't know. And here we can see the gradient flames. We can change the flames color. So let's put it in a little spawn rate, just a little spawn rate, not too much. I will put everyone in 4 so it does not overwhelm the screen and we can see it. So now let's change the gradient flame color. We can do it. We can go here. I want a flame, a pink flame. No, let's change it another one. Why, we already can see the pink flame. Let's change a blue flame, like gas flames. And that's it, is spitting out blue flames. And the fireball, let's change the color of the fireball. And I'm changing only the red color because this is the most preeminent color we can see. So this is going to spit some green fireballs. And let's put more fireballs here. Look at that. Some greenish fireballs, not too much, you can see, but we can change the other colors too to make this effect more prominent. So here now it's very greenish fireballs and blue flames. We can change it as we like it. And the smoking, here's the color of the smoke. You can change it too. The smoking is going from white to gray and finally to black and gray until it turns to white with a big alpha in the end. Let's play some pink smoking going over the atmosphere. So we can do it as we like. That's a cool feature, a very cool feature. We can see it from every angle. It keeps working very nice, very cool, from very close. And this is not have computing resource. Alright, and now I'm going to turn off these changes, so we go back to the default values, and here we can change the distortion size, you know. Let's turn it out again. Let's see this picture. So this is very cool. Let's put a lot of reheat distortions, and let's diminish the size. You know, this is distortion much less. We can see here. Let's see it here. The amount of distortions became much less distorted. Now let's put it very high value, 24 and 24, and that is crazy distortion. It looks like a fire itself because of the material of the robot, but it's not a fire itself. But that's very cool. So, and now we're going to see the smoke. Let's put some smoke, a lot of smoke going up. We can change here the wind that affects the smoke, so we can just turn it out in this axis, and it stops flowing, you know. Look at that, and this smoking over there disappearing because this have some lifetime. But now the smoker just spawn here, and it does not change their position, does not have any velocity. But now we're going to put some axis velocity, and you can see the smoking going to the side. But now I want the smoke to go to another side. We can see it. Very cool feature this. And we can put it as we like it, you know. And this is below here is the air drag that affects this smoke, so we can put it of very high value 1, so the air drag is very low, to tell you the truth. And now with the 0 value, the air resistance is very high, so it do not goes too far away. So now let's turn it off out of these effects, because we want to see the other feature here, our PBR shader glow, and this is that shader we saw in the very beginning of this video. And as we can see, the character has a different color here. He have some textures and have some fire appearance, but here he's not playing it. Let's play it so you can see what's the effect of the shader, and after that we're gonna see the shader, how it works. It takes some time to think, so let's be patient, wait a little. And the cool stuff, oh, look at that. This is a texture, the texture of the robot, the Kyle robot, and he's emitting some fire texture, and those shader graphs can do this, can do that, can do this not repeatable texture and seamless texture. That's amazing. So let's see, how do we create it, and after that we'll go back and see the change in the robot itself. So here's the first thing I have created here. As we can see here, this has a lot of variables too. These variables here we created clicking here, and we can create a full bunch of variables that you can use to change our configurations here of this shader. So here I have created a Perlin Noise. Perlin Noise, we use simple noises with different sizes. This have 5, this have 7, and so on. We can see the texture here. I put some movement here in this texture, and after that we will apply a power node that make it more smooth, make the texture more smooth, and added each one of these 4 textures created. We are mixing it, so with this created this in add node, and so on. This with this created this with this created this, and after that I have a subtract node to make those holes, so it gets this texture, subtract this texture, and here we take this texture, subtract this texture, so we can see here there is a black area, and a black area, that it means there's no texture here. And finally I mix everything with this add node, creating this seamless and not repetitive texture, very realistic for using in computer graphics and all kind of stuffs. And this is the Voronoi Cells, another type of creating, another technique for creating textures using the Voronoi algorithm that makes cells. It's not like the other one that make noise. This is a cell type algorithm, but the overall way of treating these textures is very similar. So we make a power to make it more smooth, and we mix those textures like we said. It's just like we have done with the Perlin Noise to mix those textures, but in the end I use the LARP node so it can mix in a different way and resulting in this awesome beautiful texture. In the end, mixing the Perlin Noise with the Voronoi Cells, we achieve these results. This is very cool. This is a seamless texture, never repeating, a mesmerizing texture. It looks like a lava texture or something like that. And after that I have applied this Fresnel effect with some change in sign, so it has some glowing. It will help in the glowing effect. And mixed everything in the texture, and the texture I have created before with the Fresnel to make some effects, some bright effects, and put it and throw it here in our emission node. Here in our texture node have the emission, this emission connection here, so it has already the texture of the robot here as a base color, but I use this I have created here two emission in the material, in the PBR physically based render material. So this is the result, guys. Very cool, this result. I can select my robot. Here is my material created with this shader graph with all of that variables here. Let's make it bigger so we can see it better. Very cool. And we can change all that variables to make different texture in our robot who's burning to the ashes. So let's see the glow intensity. It will up more glow intensity, and we can see it. Oh, very beautiful glow intensity to the 1. This is the maximum I have chose, and no glow intensity. It turn it off. Sorry, turn it out. I now it's say turn it out, and I turn it off, and just the texture, the base color texture, we can see just put a little piece of glow, and the emission, the texture will show us the emission. Very beautiful. Fresnel power, here we can change the Fresnel power. This is effect that makes some reflection lights, and depending on the angle you are seeing your object. We can see the Fresnel effects in metallics materials, like in automobiles. It's very easy to see it. And we have another variables here. I'm going to change it without think too much, just to see what's going on, and so you can see it too. Voronoi Cells, I'm solve a little, too little. You can see here it's changed immediately, and let's make it bigger and bigger, so the texture is different now. The speed of the noise, we can change it. We can change a lot of factors here and see what happens. Most time is a little difficult to understand it unless you change it. So here's my new texture, very cool. And here we can change the color too of these effects. Let's see if it will work. Very little difference, to tell you the truth. Very little difference. This color fire effect and the color Fresnel too, but I think we make too little difference here. Oh no, the Fresnel makes a lot of difference because it's affecting everything. Maybe if I change here, we can see better, you know. Oh, now the Fresnel factor is a little weaker, so we can see here now I changed the color of the Fresnel, those differences. So that is it. I'm going to go back the color here so we can see the effects in original way. I think this was 3.3, I don't know exactly, but yeah, I think it's good enough. Maybe here this noise speed was too slow. And that's it. Let's see now with the fire. Let's turn it on. All the effects, all the particles from the fire, we can see it generating here. Very nice. Some heat distortions, some smoke too, spawns, some sparks. I think a little more smoke is cooler. It's very cool. The drag is too little here, and so it's too big. It's the opposite. So it's here we can see the effect in this full glory. I think it's very cool. You can see it from lots of angles. So the last feature I'm going to show you, I said earlier, this I can move the robot in the place. Let's select the robot. I can move it, and the smoke is not following his position. The smoke is an independent particle system. It appears in the mesh of the robot, but it's not stuck in the model. So that's a very cool feature we can create in our effects. As we can see, the smoke particle is not a plane. This is an hexagon, because it's much less expensive in GPU calculation. So that's it, guys. This is the fire effect I created using visual effects and shader, and a VFX shader too. So thanks for watching, and until the next time, thank you.